defender Verdasco to serve.
So Verdasco to open up the second of the men's semi-finals. Best of 5 sets. The winner to face the world number 2 Roger Federer in Sunday's final.
Love 15. All.
Larry Stefanski last night was very adamant that Andy Roddick should come out and play his own game and not to over push and not to try and produce something that's really not within his reach. And the same you could say tonight for Verdasco. He's got to play to his strengths and play to his game rather than coming out and thinking I've got to play a match that will be 1 in a million to take out Nadal.
$30-15. 30 all.
There's a serve that when he really uncorks the first serve, Verdasco can get some cheap points on the board.
Deuce.
Just didn't quite get his feet right for that one. Played a very good point. One before, that one a little bit sloppy. Well left.
Advantage Verdasco. Deuce.
You had to feel like last night when Roddick was taking on Federer, the first set is so important to any form of a challenge from what is perceived to be the underdog.
Advantage Verdasco.
First ace on the board, and the first hole for Fernando Verdasco and his team. Coachless at the moment, Verdasco.
First game.
I'm sure there'd be plenty of unemployed coaches out there at the moment feeling they might like a piece of this man.
It's different speed in that game on the serve. The previous one, he hit his sort of three-quarter speed, about 187. And then that last one, he belted it down at 212. And he's done that a lot this week. He often doesn't give the same pace twice. And he certainly, when he lets it rip, I mean, he's got a big first serve, but a lot of time he's content to three-quarters it and make sure it's in the right area. And then all of a sudden he seems to get a bit looser or get a bit of confidence, then he just belts one.
Yes, doesn't look that big for Verdasco, but he's actually 6'2".
Yeah.
1m88, just an inch taller than Nadal. So he's certainly got the height to pop a few big first serves down.
Nadal to serve. Love. 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 Next, first serve. to 10.
Good play. Nadal, you feel, knew that
40-30.
Verdasco was going to crank this one down the line, but the pace just got the better of his countryman. It's a good sign for Verdasco. If you can start to break through Nadal's defences, then you're in with the chance.
Again, Nadal. One game off.
So the opening 10 minutes, both men holding their opening service games. Good crowd in, as you'd expect for the second of the semi-finals. Poor crowd, surprisingly, for the women's semi-finals yesterday during the afternoon session. Although the prices had increased by about 30% for tickets from last year. Probably discouraged a few people from coming to watch the matches, given the current global economy.
Well, it certainly looks, on the evidence so far, that Verdasco is not nervous. He's come out here and certainly opening up his shoulder on the serve and moving well. It's normally the sign of nerves when the feet are not moving, and he looks like he's up for the challenge. Playing well, nice and sharp. Not afraid to go to Nadal's strength there on the serve. Cut this one a bit close. I thought this was wide when he hit it.
Again, Verdasco.
It's a good start from Verdasco. Bearing in mind it's his first ever
Verdasco leads to get
Grand Slam semi-final. 2 aces and a 2-1 lead. Settled down well.
Yeah, he looks good at the moment. Certainly not afraid of this match. Just come out here and definitely up for it. Knows what he wants to do, and he looks very patient in the first few games and is attacking at the right times. He's not going out there trying to sort of outslug Nadal. It looks like he's got a game plan of, you know, picking the right spots and not going for broke and playing within himself, not changing necessarily his game plan because of who he's playing. Play his game, and then if necessary he could alter it depending on how the score is. But so far, a very confident start for Verdasco. Players have been using these ice sausages the last 4 or 5 days since the heat has jumped up. Oh, that's an awesome forehand there. What an angle he created.
Love 15.
And that's just a slight problem for Nadal. He's got to watch that forehand because it is dangerous. Nadal thinking he hit a pretty good slice backhand there with that very wristy forehand around the outside of the ball. That's a confidence booster when you hit a shot like that against Nadal. Typical response.
15 on. Thirty 15.
Verdasco really taking the ball on at the moment. It's good to see. He's a real talent, this man.
See how close
30 on.
inside the baseline, a couple of feet on that one. One before that, right on the line. He's the one in that rally getting Nadal off the court, making him cover the court. Oh, what an effort.
That's good defence again from Verdasco. And the first break point of the evening goes to the 25-year-old.
And he would not have got this ball 6 months ago. That's the fitness he's been doing. That first one that he recovered from the Nadal forehand. These days you've got to be able to defend well at the top level. It's not all about attack. Verdasco has really improved in that position, really getting the ball back a lot better now because of his movement and his fitness.
Oh, shame. Up until that, it was near perfection from Verdasco.
Well, there's an absolute barrage coming at Nadal at the moment. Again, Verdasco doing all the attacking inside the baseline, setting up the point, and unfortunately with the overhead, just overcooked it a little bit.
Advantage Nadal. Again, Nadal.
And the first scare of the evening avoided by Nadal.
2 games all.
But, most certainly, you can see Verdasco has come out here, not afraid of the occasion, wanting just to take his man on, playing a lot of balls up the court.
$15.
Not even Nadal can get that as a finesse from Verdasco.
Well, that was brilliant, because after not putting the ball away,
30.
a lot of players would have panicked there after that incredible get from Nadal, but no, he just came up with an even better shot.
A lot of players would have gone into the gap, into Nadal's backhand, and would probably have been passed. Plenty of forward thinking from Verdasco at the moment. I often see that.
40.
Little shank from Nadal going behind him on the return. Where did that go? Blaming the court, of course, just looking down. Yeah. Back kick. Hit a moth.
Obviously got to be wary of that serve, because that's the left-hander's favourite serve, obviously on the left court out wide, but now it's going to Nadal's forehand, not to a normal right-hander's backhand. It's got to be precise, otherwise the winners are going to come against that.
$40-30. Deuce.
Second time that Verdasco has been taken to deuce by Nadal in this opening set. Just a little bit of pressure. Identical numbers, winners to unforced errors. It's great hustle. Never really in the point until the last forehand down the line. It was Nadal who was dictating play.
Advantage, Verdasco.
There's a lot of strength in that rally from Verdasco. Being pulled out wide and still being able to get himself back into court with some good pace on the defensive shots, and then when he gets the chance to explode, just rip the forehand. That's a kind of an old Verdasco shot there. That's a 1 in 10 chance of making that from that position of the court. It's a lazy shot, almost no shot of making that. You can't afford to have any brain cramps when you play Nadal.
Advantage, Verdasco. Verdasco.
Decent hold. There's 40 love up in the game, Verdasco.
Verdasco leads 3-2.
Well, it's shaping up to be a tasty match.
Yep.
But, you know, again, you know, can Verdasco keep this type of pressure up? Because can he sustain it for potentially five sets against someone like Nadal? That's the problem, because Nadal puts you under such intense pressure. Even if you get, you know, you win a set, never gives you a free point. He just keeps coming at you. And Verdasco not really in that kind of class in terms of playing the tough 5-set matches against someone like Nadal in the majors and coming through. And that's the question: can he keep it up? He's certainly, his game plan looks excellent tonight. He's mixing everything up with the aggression. He's defending well. The serve seems to be working nicely. He's at 75% first serves already after 3 service games. I mean, if he can keep that percentage up, that will certainly be a huge key. So good start.
Well, he proved himself to a degree against Murray, a winner in 5 sets, 4 in the 5th. But to me, I'm not sure if you agree or not, but to me that Nadal is a different competitor to Murray. There won't be these little dips in and out.
No, exactly.
As there was with Murray. He's playing a totally different mental opponent tonight against Nadal.
That's exactly right.
It was very close, but I saw it out. Nadal is challenging the call.
First challenge of the evening. I think Jake Garner fairly fair, saying it was very close, but he saw it out. It would be side edge, if anything, for Nadal. We'll see what Hawkeye makes of it. Yeah, good call.
Love 15. Nadal has 2 challenges.
Miss it that a bit.
15 all.
First venture into the net here. Good approach shot.
Yeah, Nadal. Three games.
Pretty skyline, isn't it? The Melbourne skyline. Almost cloudless. Hot again tomorrow for the women's final. 37 degrees during the day, but no doubt it'll cool off. Of course, the first time that the women's final is being played at night. 7:30 again here in Melbourne. 8:30 tomorrow morning on the red button for our viewers back in the UK. If 8:30 in the morning is a little bit too early for you on a Saturday morning, I know it probably would be for me if I didn't have children. Highlights 1 o'clock on BBC One on Saturday afternoon. Third ace for Verdasco. It's an impressive start from Fernando Verdasco. No breaks. 4-3 lead. given it's his first Grand Slam semi-final, Verdasco's come out here and hasn't missed a beat so far.
No, high marks, doesn't look like he's been nervous at all, you know, which is a big test. First Grand Slam semi-finals, easy to come out there and legs be a bit tight and not get off to a good start. And if he had done that against Nadal, you know, we might be already a set down here by now. But he came out very, very sure in what he needs to do out here, and so far he's executed his plan very well. His forehand, there seems a lot more pace on it than Nadal's. He's got almost 3 times the amount of winners tonight already, and he hits a flatter ball than Nadal, and it seems to be coming off the court faster. He's really been the aggressor at the moment, and Nadal's sort of more of the on the defense, and he's it's a very, very good match. It's just, again, can he keep it up?
Just in case you're wondering if Verdasco's wearing one of those pillows that you blow up on a long haul flight, he's not. It's actually a nice bag. He's not resting his neck at the change of ends, trying to get a few Zs. It's there for a reason. It's still pretty warm. 8:30 in the evening. It was around 30 degrees when we started this one. Certainly not the vicious heat that we had during the day, which is good news for players and spectators alike.
Good luck.
Smart play again. Nadal not having it all his own way tonight.
Two examples there of that forehand of Nadal, that one and the previous shot, where just bouncing over the service line, not really doing much with the ball, and Verdasco taking over the rally with the backhand. A bit conservative tonight, Nadal, almost as if he's waiting for Verdasco to miss.
A little bit like how Murray approached the game the other day.
That's more aggressive there.
Win or lose, Verdasco will break into the top 10 when the rankings are released this Monday. He'll come in at number 9. He goes on to win the title. Would be a surprise, but if he does, he'll and as the #6 player in the world at the end of the Aussie Open.
Yeah, Nadal. Four games.
Still no breaks after 8 games. Nadal just changing his racket. Maybe going for something that's a little bit tighter.
Go ahead and go get that racket.
Uses a synthetic string, Nadal. Ever since coming through the junior ranks, he's used this string. Tends to get a little bit more grip on the ball, a bit thicker than, say, natural gut. And that one going off to the stringer. I'm sure we'll have his instructions about the tension that Nadal prefers in his racket.
Yeah, they can restring a racket in about just under 20 minutes now.
Yeah.
Picking the right shot to attack on, the right shot to come in on. Good shot selection. And this one from Nadal got up pretty high. Verdasco just mistimed it. Tough to control that that spin when it's coming at you. It's going to be absolutely perfect, otherwise the ball can fly on you as it did there.
Verdasco standing tall in this first set. Just faced a break point and well worth his 5-4 lead.
He's at 79% now on first serves. He's not really giving Nadal anything to work with on the serve. He's a lot of variation, and we saw in that last game when Nadal missed 3 returns of serve, and it's very unusual, but he's keeping him guessing. He's not giving him the same serve twice. He's mixing up the speeds, the spins, where he's serving to. Very smart match so far. He's just got the degree right of when to attack and when not to. He's making a few more unforced errors than he would like, perhaps, but he's making a lot of winners as well. So a very good start from Verdasco. And Nadal, to me, just looks a little bit confused. He's sort of hanging in, as he always would do, but to me, I mean, Verdasco's been the best player in this set, but still no break. That's the bottom line.
Yeah, I think a lot of people probably have been taken by surprise the way that Verdasco has played over the last week and a half. Did have a reputation really for somebody that was hugely talented, great shot maker, but very inconsistent. And if you were to get on top of him, he'd quickly throw in the towel. But not anymore. Last year won a career 47 matches on tour. Really just came of age, almost matured during 2008, and the off-season, as John says, with Gil Reyes and a couple of chats with Andre Agassi over the Christmas break on Christmas Eve, Christmas Day. He was having a chat with Agassi and put in 4 hours of work on Christmas Day, Verdasco.
Now, I'm sure Gil Reyes had him running up the famous sand dunes that Agassi used to run. Got him in incredible shape. Oh, well, that is just tremendous shot-making ability. What a return. And then what a second shot. That was a brilliant two-handed backhand off a good serve from Nadal. How did Nadal get that back? And then that ball very low, and he just adapted so well. Good start to this game.
Confidence starting to grow for Verdasco. Love 30 here, and a real chance to potentially snatch the first set.
That's perfect.
Well, he may have missed, but that's the danger of Verdasco. He could just as easily have made it and put Nadal under some serious pressure.
Well, just in that rally, 4 or 5 ground strokes that Verdasco hit were all more powerful than Nadal's. He seems to have a lot of time when he hits his shots. Nadal seems to be the one that's being rushed.
Verdasco's father. Thought about a challenge. Hard to see from that angle whether it was in or out, but Hawkeye would confirm that it was well wide.
Advantage Nadal.
First time for a while there that Nadal got Verdasco on the move. But even when he missed that forehand, it just hit the top of the net. There was so much pace on that ball. It would have been tough for Nadal to have got that one back if it had gone over.
Right to the baseline from Verdasco. And I'll have a second look, but deciding against appealing the call. Yeah, right on the baseline, just shot through.
Net versus. Advantage Nadal. Again, Nadal.
That's a gritty hold from Nadal.
Fucking.
The umpire just waited to see whether Verdasco wanted to go to Hawkeye, but decided against it, Verdasco. Still nothing really to choose between these two. It's been a highly competitive opening set.
Love 15. Verdasco's chance to call on the left baseline.
Interesting. If that goes wrong, it will be Nadal's point. Don't often see players halt the point midway through without being 100% certain that this is missed. And he is wrong. It's in by the merest of margins. That's got to hurt. 5-all, 15-all. Verdasco goes to Hawkeye. Nadal apologising for hitting a ball a millimetre in. Verdasco can't quite believe it. Slightly miss it as well.
Yeah. Ooh, that was a huge point too. Didn't really get the balance and the timing right on that one. Just hooked it, just landed on the line. Oh, that's a bad miss.
30-40.
First break point against the Verdasco serve. Couldn't come at a better time for Nadal. 5 games all opening set. It's been very tight right the way through this one.
That's a good recovery. Served so well in this tournament. He's got him out of trouble a number of times. And that's a sign of a very good player. You come up with a serve like that at 30-40, 5-all.
Advantage Nadal.
Just rushing a little bit in this game. Superb second serve. Just see the thought plan there after that. So wide and just steps into the open court, the 1-2 punch. Too much court for Nadal to cover. It is risky when you run around that serve like that as Nadal did. You've got to hit it very well, otherwise you got no chance to get back in the rally.
Played. Just saw that the serve had done damage and crept in behind it.
Advantage Verdasco. Verdasco leads 6-5.
But hats off to Fernando Verdasco. I think at the start of the match, as you said, John, nobody really gave him much of a chance against the world #1 Rafael Nadal, but so far Verdasco's played his part and some.
And that was really the first wobble that he had on his service game, where he missed a few. He had that ball where he left it and challenged Hawkeye and was wrong on that one, and then he missed a very easy forehand at 30 all. But the serve got him out of trouble. He played the big points well there in that game when he was facing a break point and some big problems, and he came through it. And again, that's a sign again, once again, of his maturity. Again, don't think we would have seen this a year ago. He would have lost his first set by now. It's amazing, though, how much more pace that he has on his shots than Nadal. Nadal really struggling to hit winners. He's only had now a total of 6 winners in this set. Verdasco's 19. And yeah, okay, Nadal, as usual, very few unforced errors, only 5, but you can just see who the aggressor is when it comes down to it, and who has the more pace on the shots, on the forehand and backhand, both wings. There's just more stick coming off the court on his shots than Nadal's. It's quite flat for a Spanish player. It's not,
I agree.
It's not the normal sort of high kick that you see from most Spanish players. It's a very heavy shot that he hits.
No breaks in this opening set. Both men have had chances for a break. Nadal serving to take us into a tie break.
Love 15.
It's just an amazing return of serve over the highest part of the net. Good first serve there from Nadal. And you see Nadal going the other way.
You do wonder, the further this match goes, whether Verdasco A can keep this level up, but B stop the basic errors starting to seep into his game.
Yeah, well, this was a sort of typical Verdasco in the past. You know, the brilliant winner, and then 2 not really good errors. Really, they weren't necessary.
Good defence again from Verdasco. Nadal caught by surprise on his baseline.
Well, better get used to this, not being surprised by the pace that comes off the Verdasco racket.
30 all.
You can just see that he was in perfect control of that forehand. That was not a lucky shot. He was there, plenty to spare, had his racket back nice and early. You can see that, and then just thumped it cross court.
Did well to stay in the point. Just trying to maybe cover a bit more ground, Verdasco. Verdasco challenges. Don't think he will. Nope. We'll go to a tiebreak.
6 and 12%. Both players receive one additional time.
So both men receive one additional challenge at the start of the breaker. Both men had challenged once and been incorrect on those occasions, so they'll start this tiebreak with 3 challenges apiece. This a hugely important breaker for Verdasco, who was almost 50-50 last year in tiebreaks played. 17 wins and 16 losses. Good start. Confidence building start for Verdasco.
1-0.
Again, Rafa there not doing enough with the ground strokes. It's just they're not coming through the court as much, and Verdasco has time to set up the attack again. The extra pace on his shots.
Soft hands. Soft hands to someone who doesn't volley very much. It's too much close to perfection from Nadal.
That really was an excellent volley, because Nadal's forehand volley is his weakest. He's not got the greatest grip on that forehand volley, but that was excellent produced volley there from that position. That was a tough shot to make.
Long might just be the difference between these two. Nadal's greater consistency is really up against Verdasco's power and ability to strike the winners, but can he strike the winners at the critical moment, Verdasco? There he could. Ace number 5. But it's Nadal with an early mini break. Smart volley, just keeping Nadal off balance, and the mini break quickly retrieved by Verdasco.
3-all.
Still nothing to pick between these two.
A couple of short ground strokes from Nadal in this rally. That's the one. Half court. And just enabling Verdasco to get in the commanding position at the net.
His corner's into it, that's for sure. Dad Jose on the right there. So both players taking advantage of just toweling down, taking a bit of more fluid on board. It's a fairly warm evening. 30 degrees at the start of this match. You think that it would probably have cooled down somewhat, maybe 20, 25. Still pretty warm. Oh, that was the angle off the return, but even more so from Nadal. Anger to angle.
4-3, Nadal.
That could be his best shot of the whole set. And what a huge point to make that. Good approach. Missed one overhead tonight, which he missed hit a little bit, that one. Nice bit of safety with a little spin.
Now then, starts to get very interesting from here on in, particularly for Nadal, who's got a couple of points on serve here. And this to me is where Verdasco is truly dangerous. This is where you just have it in the back of your mind that if you drop one short to Verdasco's forehand, you could really pay for it. It's in. Oh, slice of luck for Verdasco. He'll take it. Why not? He's given him a couple of set points.
Oh, that's outrageous. What a time.
He actually drew it back in because it was going well wide.
Yeah, incredible.
Full of apology, Verdasco, but just behind that, he's got to think, yes, thank you very much. Didn't pick this, really did not pick this at the start of the second of the men's semi-finals. It was all set up for Rafael Nadal to come out tonight and really just breeze through in straight sets, but it's not to be. Fernando Verdasco has taken the opening set on the tie break, 7 points to 4 after an hour and 15 minutes. I think we should settle in for a long evening.
Well, that was just awesome. Talk about holding your nerve under some tight situations there from Verdasco. Yeah, he got a bit of luck, or a huge bit of luck at 5-4 in the tiebreaker, but he really deserved that set overall. Way more aggressive than Nadal. See here the winners 3 times more from Verdasco, and look at the unforced errors 4 times more from the way this set has panned out. But you can see who's really going after the ball more, and you see the points won there, 51 to 45. Both first serve percentage superb, but Verdasco 76%. Well, that's just outstanding, and has put really Nadal under pressure on that side for the whole match. And he's managed to just about get the balance right. There are a couple of times where he would throw in a couple of bunches of errors here and there, but he always seemed to manage to pull back after he'd done that and rescue himself with a very good serve. That's something again last year he wouldn't have done. He would have lost serves by 3 or 4 bad shots in a row, and he's managed to arrest that tonight. And at the moment Nadal has to really think now at this changeover whether he starts to be more aggressive or whether he believes that Verdasco will burn himself out, and just to keep on at this type of game and make him do it point after point. It's an interesting dilemma, because Verdasco to me doesn't look rushed, doesn't look like he's overhitting, and at the moment he's the best player.
Can you honestly see Verdasco going the whole way here?
Well, that's in the back of your mind to think, can he do this for 5 sets? But he seems to be, I mean, even against when he played Andy Murray, and it was pretty hot that day, and it was 5 sets, and at the end of the match he was barely even breathing heavy. He looked to me like he could go another 2 or 3 more sets. Didn't look tired at all against Tsonga. It wasn't that long a match. And against Nadal, I mean, this first set, it's already an hour and 20 minutes in the match. We've only played 1 set. So yes, endurance could come into it, no question about it. But I tell you what, he looks in remarkable shape. It doesn't even in these long rallies after he has one, you look at the recovery, it doesn't look to me like he's breathing heavy and really sort of suffering for air. He looks in good shape.
Yeah. Coming up to 9:10 here in the evening, and one person that will be loving this is Roger Federer, back in his hotel room. And we just had a bite to eat, and now just enjoying watching this one to see who he'll face on Sunday. He won't mind this going 5 at all. Nadal will at least have to go 4 sets. It's the first set he's dropped at this year's championships.
Yeah, Nadal. First game, second.
Well, what we do know for sure is that there won't be a moment that Nadal's even thinking about losing this one. Very quickly back on the board, love service hold. But he's got to be rocked a little bit, because this is something that possibly he's never ever seen from Verdasco before. I mean, we all know that Verdasco through the years is flashy and dangerous, but he's never had the consistency, the belief, the strength. This is a new version almost of Verdasco.
Yeah, it's remarkable.
You go back to the Davis Cup at the end of last year, I think, is that really has been the catalyst for Verdasco when he won the Davis Cup for his country away from home in Argentina. And that may be just the impetus that he needed to provide him with the self-confidence to just go from there and produce what he's producing right now. And maybe even just to work a bit harder. Now, Nadal saying it's in anyway. So I won't have to go to Hawkeye. It's a nice bit of sportsmanship from Nadal.
I think it's right what you say about the Davis Cup, but I think even more importantly than that, that after that, when he was a superstar in Spain, and you know, he certainly has a reputation of liking the nightlife. He made that decision then to go out to Vegas over Christmas and train with Gil Reyes. Now, to me, if he wasn't serious, he would have just done his normal practice and everything else. But to make that commitment where he knew he was going to be working like he's probably never worked before, that shows that the Davis Cup. Oh, lovely shot. Probably gave him that thought that, you know what, I haven't really achieved my potential yet in my career, and it's now or never.
Yep. Just standing on the baseline and taking what Nadal can throw at him. Verdasco, like Nadal, love service hold. Start of the second set. First point against the serve.
40-15. Nadal, move on. Nadal leads 2 games to 1.
Well, impressive hold there. Back to business from Nadal, never wavers even after losing a tight first set. And that unlucky net cord, 5-4 in the tiebreaker, but back to business for him. And Verdasco's job, obviously, to feel that all he's done is just start well in this match. He knows that there's a long way to go against Nadal. Not to congratulate himself at all. Just focus on the points and games coming up ahead. But what an impressive start to this match.
He asked me for one, so I asked you to check to see if we had it.
You have to add in the factor of the first semi-finals of a Grand Slam. Perhaps he would be nervous playing against Rafael Nadal with his record of 0-6, but not at all. Total confidence. Oh, he's loving this net.
15 love.
Well, this one not as anywhere near as vital as the point that he got the last big one in the tiebreaker, but still he'll take it.
Next racer.
Well, that's just way too good. Nothing that Nadal can do about that one. Consecutive love holds for Verdasco.
Continues to impress. No letdown after winning the first set. Still rock solid with his concentration. And there's a lovely disguise on that topspin backhand lob. Ace number 7.
$15.
That's a pity. 3 short ground strokes again from Nadal. Well, it was the right shot to pull the trigger on, but just overcooked it. Balance was off a little bit on that one.
Nadal leads 3 games to 2.
Still no breaks of serve in this match. It's exceptionally tight. First set to Verdasco, if you have just joined us on the tiebreak, 7 points to 4. And in the opening 5 games of the second set have been fairly comfortable. No break points against the serve. And you're still really just waiting for Verdasco. I know this sounds terrible, but you are waiting for Verdasco just to start making a few errors and not hand a break to Nadal, but present one on a plate, and you just expect Nadal to take it. But so far, Verdasco really has given Nadal very few opportunities in this match. Just 2 break points Nadal's had.
Yeah, I absolutely agree. You expect, certainly from the old Verdasco, to throw in 2, 3 errors in a row for no reason, just where he loses his focus.
Me, coach? My coach is not speaking no one time. Did you hear the other coach or not? All the time, every time.
I've heard both.
Did you hear or not?
I've heard your coach.
Unbelievable. Come on, man. All the time the same.
Well, Jake Garner, I can only imagine from Nadal's response, has just said to Rafael Nadal, be careful, I think that you're being coached. And Nadal has quickly responded, telling him that he thinks he's talking a lot of rubbish.
Such a difficult rule to enforce, that it really is.
Well, particularly if you don't speak Spanish. I'm not sure whether Jake Garner, who's American, can speak Spanish. He may well can, but I don't think that Tony Nadal is into coaching. From the years that I've been watching Nadal and Uncle Tony, normally just is full of encouragement. Certainly not telling Rafa the way he should be playing. Well, that's exceptional from Fernando Verdasco. Not too many people can live with Rafael Nadal at the back of the court and come up trumps at the end. Verdasco did here. And had oodles of time on the ball.
Three games on.
Ace number 7 for Verdasco, yet to drop a point on his serve in this second set. Just increases the pressure on Nadal's shoulders. The longer this goes on, the more you can see Fernando Verdasco potentially defeating Nadal. Every single winner and hold Verdasco achieves, you start to become a bit of a believer. All going Verdasco's way tonight. That return barely creeping over, but drawing Nadal away from his strength, which is the baseline. That's easy pickings for Verdasco. You don't often see Nadal hang his head as he did there. Love 30. And you say a bit of a Verdasco believer because you've got to temper it with this man's ability to dig out a win, to just continue to fight whatever the situation. It's got him out of so many matches, Nadal, in the past. I think this might be a good challenge from Verdasco. Don't think this clipped the line. That is good. Yep. Verdasco doesn't quite believe it.
Verdasco has 2 challenges remaining.
30 in that game. Just edging ahead once more, courtesy of serving first in the second set. What can Nadal do? It doesn't appear that he's getting a lot from the court tonight or from his racket. It's sitting up there, maybe flattening out the shots a bit more.
Well, yeah, that's what I'd like to see him do a little bit, just to get a little bit more pace on the ball and at least force Verdasco to go for shots when he's sort of further back from the baseline. At the moment, you look at where Nadal's shots are landing, and generally speaking, they're sort of very close to the service line, just maybe a couple of feet beyond that. And really, Verdasco is the one that's been able to set up both backhands and forehands, but being in a position where he's not playing shots that are uncomfortable for him. He seems to be very comfortable against Nadal, and that's unusual. Normally you see Nadal's shots come off and they're coming up very high in the air, and people are having to hit shots from shoulder level. Well, at the moment it's not happening, and of course the matchup with the lefty to lefty, Nadal's coming up second in the forehand department, which normally, again, that forehand of Nadal goes to a right-hander's backhand, and it's very difficult to defend against it. At the moment it's going back to Verdasco's forehand, and he's flattening out and ripping shots and getting Nadal down the line on that shot all the time. So it's he's really got to start juicing the ball more, I think, Nadal. He's got to try and get something off these ground strokes and put a little bit more pressure on Verdasco. I like the way he sort of did that little shout there, Nadal, as he came over the changeover when he won that last serve, and that was, to me, again, just a little mental sort of warning to Verdasco that I'm coming after you. That was more, I think, just as much for the benefit of Verdasco to hear it than it was to encourage himself.
That is just sheer power from Verdasco.
But that's the example that we've been talking about with the forehands.
15 love.
He goes back cross court to the forehand, and it wasn't a bad shot, but Nadal has not been hitting any of those type of shots, and Verdasco has hit a number of them. And it doesn't look like it's a lucky shot. It's perfectly controlled. And that one there in that rally, 2 shots in a row, he actually made Verdasco hit shots where he was out of position, and then he forced the error.
Just in case you're wondering about Nadal's record last year against left-handers, he played 13 matches against lefties last year, and he won 13. So it's not that he doesn't like matchups against a fellow lefty. It's just that Verdasco at the moment has got the bigger shots.
Yep.
30, 15.
That could be a big point right there.
That
was a donation point here. Verdasco would be having a pretty easy hold to go up 40-15. Now it's back to 30-all. These are the sort of little openings that Nadal thrives on here. Verdasco needs a couple of big serves now.
Oh, it's huge play from both men. And look at the reaction from Nadal. He's starting to get a taste in this game. It's a break point.
Some of the best forehands of the match from him there. Brilliant stuff.
30-40.
Just haven't seen enough of those tonight so far. Maybe this is the change. Another good response from Verdasco on a big point. Brave going out to the Nadal forehand on break point down.
Nadal's just upping the tempo at the moment.
It's getting ahead of him in the rallies.
Verdasco will do well to live with this just increase of intensity from Nadal. First time as well you've seen Verdasco really gesticulate towards his corner, just voice some uncertainty, some disapproval maybe. That's a big serve. Nadal will challenge.
On the left side, the ball is caught in.
It would be ace number 8 if it's called good. Nadal pointed to a mark that was a good half an inch out. But how does Hawkeye see it? It will have the final say. And Nadal is way off.
Nadal has 2 challenges remaining.
Just shows you what the players see sometimes. Totally different. They're not always right.
Advantage Nadal.
Yeah, a little bit more juice on that ball, and Verdasco not moving his feet.
Well, this game could be the difference between 1 set all or 2 sets to love for Verdasco.
Too short. See how far Nadal is away from that, and brilliant serve. Again, that's just not getting the job done, that type of shot mid-court.
Oh, yes. Oh, I read that one early.
Yeah. Another one of those rallies that with Nadal looks like he's out of the point. Not quite wide enough on that approach shot. But what a passing shot. That wrap-around forehand.
4th break point of this game. Uncle Tony liked it.
broke a string there. Broke a string on the return to serve. Can you believe that? That's unbelievable.
Uses a synthetic string, Nadal. It's not natural gut in there. It's slightly harder wearing, a thicker string to get more purchase on the ball.
Well, what a game this will be if Verdasco can get out of it psychologically.
It's a good spring. Good hang time as well from Verdasco. Seems to stay up there for an age.
That's for serve.
Well, it deserves it. Thoroughly deserves that service hold. Verdasco face down 4 break points in there. And we're tied up once again, and still we've yet to have a break of serve.
4 games all.
No point in saying we wonder how Nadal's going to respond. We know how he's going to respond, but how will Verdasco, possibly more to the point, respond to really just getting out of jail on that game? Will that just increase the confidence and the belief?
$15. $15. $30-15. $40-15. 40-30. Dan Nadal. Nadal leads 5 games to 4.
When you look at the, shall we say, unusual finalists we've had over the years, is this much of a surprise that Verdasco's in the semi-finals and could well take it out here? If he takes the second set, then it could get seriously interesting.
It could, and no, it isn't. I mean, simply because that's why I think the Australian Open is so interesting. It's always, to me, one of the most fascinating of the Grand Slams, because it's at the beginning of the year. You never know how much the previous year has taken out of the top players. You don't know how they're going to react coming in here. You don't know who's trained the hardest, who's had enough rest. So you always get surprises here, and that makes it fun to watch, because it's the most unpredictable of the Grand Slams. It certainly has been anyway for the last, well, as many years as I can remember. If you look at some of the finalists that have got through and semi-finalists that have come from nowhere, so it makes it a very interesting Grand Slam to watch.
Yeah, Songa last year, Gonzalez, Thomas Johansson, who won the title, defeated Safin in the final. That was a major surprise back then.
Yeah.
Peter Korda. The list goes on of people that have just made their name from the first slam of the year.
Yeah. Well, there was the German Schudler against Agassi.
Yeah.
That was
forgot about him. How can I forget about him?
That one was the biggest surprise probably ever.
Yeah, Arnaud Clément.
Arnaud
against
Clément.
Agassi as well.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, just people you wouldn't pick at the start of a slam to go the distance. And we all knew that Verdasco was dangerous, but we didn't think A, he was going to get past Murray, B, get past Songa, and C, be in this position against Nadal.
Yeah.
Some effort. A lot of people have got some newfound respect for Fernando Verdasco. This will tell us a bit more about the Spaniard. I should say older Spaniard.
You just know what Nadal was thinking after he lost that previous game when he had to break points. I mean, a lot of players would think, how could I have lost that? He'll be thinking, well, I'm getting closer now. I mean, that's the kind of attitude that Nadal would have.
Yeah.
I'm almost there. Set that up nicely too.
Love 15.
We've seen that play from Verdasco a lot tonight, where he's given that sort of opening to the forehand side and Nadal's gone for it, and then he's just gone over there and slapped a forehand cross court, and that one just didn't quite connect right. 2 hours this match already, and they're still not even through the second set.
Just a bit of wildlife to be tidied up by the ball boy.
Well, crowd gave that a clap. Some people would have stepped on it and crunched it.
So the other day in the women's, was it semi-final, quarter-final?
15-all.
They were, moths were just falling down from the sky. It was too hot. Couldn't fly, were just dying on court, weren't they, having to be swept up after every game? It was that hot. Normally Nadal at least makes you play a volley.
It's a long way back though from Nadal there. And you can see how deep he is. Really deep the whole way. Look how far back he is for this shot. I mean, that's what, 12 feet back. Not easy to pass from back there.
40-15.
Very short return. That one is going to get eaten alive.
Stayed up in court, was well up in court, Verdasco. And Nadal has pulled this back to deuce, just 2 points away from levelling this semi-final. Again, you're just waiting for Verdasco to show us his inexperience at this level. Remember, it's his first Grand Slam semi-final. You're not supposed to play like this. Believe that shot from Nadal. That was a joke.
Verdasco even smiling. That was one of the best rallies of the tournament. The shot selection from both players here was just Verdasco. That backhand slice, that was absolutely brilliant. And the forehand, what a joke that was.
Great stuff from both men.
God.
Look at that from Nadal, biceps bulging, fist pumping. Set point. It's long, and all of a sudden we're at 1 set all. But it did take something truly special from Rafael Nadal to level this one. What a semi-final.
6 games to 4, 1 set.
This is great stuff. Oh boy, that was just beautiful to watch. What a game.
That was Verdasco just going off for maybe a change of shirt and to regroup. Couldn't have played the set much better, Verdasco. But that forehand at deuce.
Oh.
I mean, have you seen a better forehand?
No, that was the best one of the tournament that I've seen. We see the stats there, more winners, but creeping up Nadal in that set. In the first set, he was way behind on winners. He has upped the tempo with the aggression, and the unforced errors is still staying at 5, which I believe that's what it was in the first set.
Yep.
So he's kept that down there, and now he's up the tempo, which is what he had to do. So that's just smart play from Nadal, knowing what he had to do. 89% first serves, and still in the 70s for Verdasco. Well, it's just high quality tennis, that's all you can say. And now the tests again begin for Verdasco. He's handled it incredibly well, but you would think that he would be saying to himself deep down, I played a great set there and I still ended up losing it, and now I'm 1 set off. I've still got to win 2 more against this guy who is an absolute...
Here it is.
This is well, that forehand is just frightening. What a scrapper he is. He's just mentally so strong that nothing affects him. It doesn't matter what the score is, whether his opponent is playing out of his mind. He just thinks deep down, you still got to win a point to point to point to beat me, and I'm going to be in your face all night. It's that kind of mentality.
It was a shame they didn't stay on the ball boy that was running up to give Nadal his towel after that forehand, because the ball boy arrived with this massive smile on his face. It was just he was enjoying it as much as we all were.
Oh, what a match this is. And for the crowd, very knowledgeable group, the Australians, but there'll be a lot of people in the crowd that will not be that familiar with Verdasco, and we're probably thinking, as a lot of people, that this was going to be a bit of a mismatch.
Yeah.
And they are loving it, absolutely loving it. Stunning standard of tennis.
Maybe just a good move by Verdasco to go off court here and slow it down. You talk about sort of tactical timeouts, and we often bemoan the fact they're taken at the wrong time, but I think for Verdasco, smart play.
Yep.
Just a change of shorts by the looks of it, not a top for Verdasco. Just to settle things down, let the crowd talk about those last 2 points for 2 or 3 minutes.
Just go back off that way, that's fine.
And let Nadal just also settle down. Let the adrenaline settle through Nadal's veins. 2 sets of first-class tennis we've had tonight. 2 hours and 8 minutes of play.
Oh, by that we could have a 5-hour match if it goes to 5.
Well,
5 sets at this quality stage, and the amount of games that have gone to 30 oars and juices in this, it's been very few sort of easy games, long points. I mean, this is and if it does go into that sort of length, then obviously that's when we really look at Verdasco's training and those running up the sand dunes with Gilray's. Well, that's when it will pay off. Great stuff.
Nadal will start the 3rd set.
3rd set, Nadal to serve. Love 15. Fifteen all. $30.
Bit sloppy there from Verdasco. Should have done more with the approach, and the volley was not pretty there.
$40. Yeah, Nadal.
Now solid hold.
First game, third set.
Now this will be an interesting game here for Verdasco. Needs to re-establish himself after losing that set. The momentum switched obviously to Nadal's side. Now he's just held serve. Verdasco got to get himself back into this. Send out a message that losing that set was no big deal.
No surprise that very few people have left their seats for this one. Of course, a Friday night in Melbourne, so nobody really has to go to work. Unless you're a real estate agent, to try and sell a house tomorrow.
That's a better return.
Love 15.
It's a gutsy point here from Verdasco. Looked like he was out of it. Read this one very quickly. Nice soft hands there just to maneuver the racket head.
The way to keep a point short against Nadal.
He's been spot on with these attacks into the net when he gets Nadal on the run. He's reacted very quickly those first couple of steps. He's managed to pick Nadal's shots up while they're nice and high in the air for a comfortable volley. The return of serve again, just a little bit short.
40-15.
That one there just gives Verdasco the chance to jump on top of that one again. Nicely timed into the net. Solid technique on that backhand volley. It's just a big difference now with Nadal's ground strokes, not all the time, but a lot more than he was doing. Certainly in the first set, he's making Verdasco go for shots now where he's in an awkward position, where he's backing up a little bit, where he can't dominate the rally.
You do just start to wonder if Nadal can get an early break here. The third set might be over quite quickly.
Facial expressions are just changing slightly now.
A little bit, yeah, agreed. Verdasco's really just got to dig his heels in here. Believe in his shots and the way that he's played so far. Keep Nadal out of his mind if possible.
Advantage, Nadal.
Just a little bit ragged.
That's again something that you might be feeling it, but you don't want to be showing that to Rafa. He feeds off that.
Break point Nadal, start of the third. Oh, it's well played again. That's what you want to see from Verdasco.
Just makes you play one more shot though, Nadal. Executed beautifully there.
Lined it up. He's made those on several occasions tonight. But as John correctly said, you just are starting to see facially and the expressions that Verdasco is putting together that he's feeling under a bit of stress. Maybe not feeling that he can continue the standard, the high standard that he's produced in the opening two sets.
Net for serve.
Well, two great points in this game for Verdasco, and both of them exceptionally well played.
But the worry is, though, he's having to now come up with some incredible shots just to stay in this game, and he's not having many easy points like he was in the first. Now that's, from that range, he's been deadly tonight. Just past that service box area, and the return's not deep enough there. Oh, that one's just inside it, and he can rip it either side. the line.
Verdasco will have a look, but I think if he appeals, he'll...
I saw it good.
Jake Garner saying he saw it good. I think we all did.
Deuce.
Yeah, inside the line. It's interesting that Jake Garner had a verbal discussion with Nadal midway through the second set about coaching. And Verdasco on 3 occasions alone in this service game has said something to his corner and got a response back.
Advantage Verdasco.
Verdasco into double figures on the aces. This one just catching.
That's a little bit of a worrying sign. Just a couple of shots in this game. He's still in this game. He's rescued himself very well, but he's gone for a couple of shots that we didn't see in the first set and a half, where he was in control when he was aggressive. Occasionally he missed, but the last couple, it's almost like his legs are not quite there, and he's going for something that the odds are way against him making.
Oh, Verdasco calling this one. This is this is dangerous.
He messed up once on doing this. First time also, he looks like he's puffing a little bit.
Yep. How does Hawkeye view this one? It was deep, we know for sure, but was it good? And it was, by the looks of that. Yep.
Verdasco has 2 challenges.
So twice in this match, Verdasco has stopped the play, gone to Hawkeye with the firm belief that the ball had gone long, and twice he's been proven to be incorrect. Third break point of this game for Nadal. He has produced his best tennis on the break points.
Again, though, Nadal in that rally for me, just doing enough on that ground stroke. Got himself in the he was on the back foot, didn't do enough with it.
Oh, it's wild.
Advantage Nadal.
He's on the edge, I think. We all feel, I think, he's on the edge.
Yep.
Verdasco.
Well, the serve is really the thing that's keeping him in this game. That was another opportunity. He missed the volley, but he's hit some big serves on these break points down. He might be able to get away with this game with some more big serves.
Made it on the line, and Nadal breaks. It may well just be the break that shatters the hopes of this man who's played so well up until now. To love Nadal, and this one just curved in, was probably going out until the last moment, and then it just dropped in. New balls in play. Got to think Verdasco, if he's going to get back on level terms, needs to do so now.
Oh, that would have been spectacular if that had gone in.
Love 15.
So quick. He's got some firepower.
Love 30.
He's still so dangerous because he's got the potential to hit these type of shots from anywhere.
Found it.
Love 40.
This is the type of response that we wanted to see from Verdasco. Nadal didn't, but everybody else probably did. Inch perfect. 3 points to break back here for Verdasco. Break. That's what you wanted to see from Verdasco. Nadal, I'm sure, just silently seething. He allowed Verdasco to get back on level terms, but you've got to hand it to the more inexperienced player at this stage. He was worth the break.
That one I couldn't see coming at all. After the 2-love, I thought it looked to me like his mind was certainly wavering a bit, and Nadal being Nadal, I thought that game he would really bunker down and hold that serve, but that was really, well, 2 of those points were just pure brilliant from Verdasco. That really wasn't Nadal's fault. That last one was not a great forehand, but still, that's an awesome response. And there were just signs in that previous game of just,
yeah, he thought he was going.
Well, he's looking a little bit leggy too. He was trying to go for some shots that were just way off the court with not much chance of success, and that's normally a sign when someone's legs start to go. They start taking unnecessary risks because they just feel that they can't stay out there for the long rallies. But then what a response in that last game, and he's still got that firepower where you can't count him out because he can just string winners together, and that was one of his best games of the whole match. Fabulous match.
Yeah, absolutely. Hopefully the women's final tomorrow will provide us with the same sort of fare. We'll have that live for you on the red button tomorrow morning at 8:30. 7:30 here at night is normal here in Melbourne. The first time the women's final has been played under the lights at the Rod Laver Arena. Should be a special atmosphere. There's Roger Federer, firmly tucked up in bed right now, and no doubt enjoying this one as much as we are and everybody else here on Rod Laver. It's been a surprisingly close semi-final. So back on serve after early exchanges of breaks in this third set. Verdasco 1-2.
15. 15 all. 30-15.
Just more examples. The pace he can get off that forehand, and with Verdasco's forehand, you wouldn't really hear talk about it being sort of in the top 5, even possibly top 10 weapons on the tour. But I think after watching him during this tournament, you'd have to put him in the top 5 in that category of the forehand side.
40-15.
Anybody that can take Nadal off the court with a stroke like he's done tonight, it's got to be pretty awesome, and he certainly has done that with the forehand. Easy hold. Very impressive.
Two games on.
Yes, Happen looked like he was just starting to panic mentally and maybe a touch physically at the start of this third. Verdasco's found some renewed vigour out here. The mental state of his game as well has just come back to him. He's firmed up in that area as well.
Love 15.
I wonder whether the early stages of this third set was largely due to the way Nadal finished off the second, with that running forehand shot down the line that you won't see too often, and taking the set.
Verdasco now has hit a staggering 53 winners. Not sure if anybody's ever done that to Nadal before, after only 2.5 sets. Got away with it. That was that nothing shot from Nadal that sat.
30-15.
Miss hit by both men in that rally.
30 all.
Unfortunately, Nadal's miss hit landed very short. This one here. And that one very easy. Verdasco to get on top of. Now a little opening here at 30 all.
$40.